Hello my lovelies, happy Thursday. I don't often do a Thursday, but we've swapped days around. Sarah did Tuesday, I'm doing Thursday this week. Hopefully you're all okay. Weather can't make up its mind here. It's quite warm, but it rains and then the sun comes out and rains. Not good for my washing. I did put some washing out. I'm working from home today and I am busy putting together the quilt for the next class that we've got coming up, which is until October, but I'm trying to get ahead of myself, which is the Modern Irish Chain one. It's a really great, very quick quilt to do. Looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Same as everything with me. But we do still have spaces on that class if anybody fancies joining us. It's a really beautiful one. I'll give you a sneaky peek of it once I've put some of the blocks together. But I've been busy cutting out everything today. So hi Natalie, hi Carolyn, hello my darlings. So we do have a little bit of an offer on at the moment. I'm going to take that off. It's 7 o'clock tonight. We've got half price Ruby Star scrap packs and our own white Gecko scrap packs as well. So whip over to the website to have a little look at those if there is anything on there that you fancy. Hi Nikki, hello darling. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a bit of improv-y stuff. So this came from kind of an idea of something that I was flicking through a magazine and I thought, that'd be quite cute. Oh, I don't want to do templates and stuff. This would be actually cute if it was improv. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some improv and then we're going to be doing some applique as well. So, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a few different techniques today. And they're all going to look different depending on what fabrics you use and how you cut out. So, hi everyone. Oh, lots of people coming online. Hello, hello. Right, so what I'm going to do is go straight over to the overhead. And what we're going to do is we're going to make Mr. Meow. Okay, he's my little cat. Okay, Mr. Meow. Where is he? Is he in the? He's in the screen about there, isn't he? About right there. We go. This again, I'm all about using up scraps at the moment. I'm trying to get the scraps to use up. You know, trying to reduce some of my fabric that I've got hanging around. So this is coming out as a 12.5-inch block. You could make it into a cushion front. You could make it into a bag. He's cute. Ah, thanks guys. I think he's quite cute as well. His personality changes depending on how you tilt his head and everything. There isn't a template or a pattern for this. We're just going to cut it. So you can have sort of rounder cats, more skinny cats. You can add flowers and things if you want, whatever you like really, okay? But the whole idea is to use some scraps. I think this would be really cute as like a little kiddie play map. You could make 4 or 5, you know, 4 of these blocks, bit of sashing in between, really quick, easy block. But I like the fact you can personalise it. So first thing you're going to do is cut yourself a piece of fabric, background fabric. Okay, so I've cut a 12.5-inch square. If you want to interface the back for a bit of stability, if you're going to free motion or do a lot of blanket stitch or anything, or zigzag or whatever, you could put some interfacing on the back. I'm not going to. I don't feel it needs it, but you can if you want to. And then the next thing you want to do is just audition some of your scraps. So this is, I've grabbed these out of my bag. These were like a header that one of the reps gave me. When they show us the fabrics and arrange, they come like this. We very often give them away in our goodie bags at the retreats and stuff. So first thing I want to do is kind of audition, but I think against this bright hot pink, I want to do a yellow cat. So do I want to do the floral yellow, or do I want to do yellow, or should we do purple? Oh, do you know what? I'm going to let you guys choose. Should we do yellow, a yellow cat against the pink, or should we do a purple cat? Quite like that one. Purple flowers. What do we think? What do you reckon, guys? Yellow or purple? I'm leaning more towards the yellow against this hot pink. I think that pops nicely. We'll go yellow. No one's commented, so we're going to go yellow. Purple. Oh, okay, we've got one purple one. Should we go purple? Purple, okay. We've had 2 purples. Let's go purple. Okay, so, do I make him floral? Do I want to make him floral? Or should we go that one? Oh, I don't know now. No, I'm going to go floral. I'm going to go floral. There we go. So, you can see I've already cut bits out of this one. First thing you want to do is, now, these cats are supposed to be really improv. Okay, really, really improv. They shouldn't be. Don't overthink this too much. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to fold this in half. So I'm cutting in kind of symmetrically, and I'm going to cut. I'll draw it for you, but I would just freehand these. Okay, so basically I want to cut like half a cat face. So I'm going to sort of go round like this, okay, like that, and give him some ears up like that. So you can cut one ear like that, and then down to the top of his head. Okay, so I want to cut something, maybe not quite that big an ear. These, I think these look better when I was playing around with them. These look better when they're a little bit wonky. You know, they're quirky cats. They're not, you know, beautifully symmetrical cats. They're quirky cats. So I'm going to just cut up like this. Okay. If you're worried about your drawing skills, make yourself a little template. Draw him out, and then make yourself a little paper template. But I actually like the fact that they all look a weeny bit different. Okay, like that. So there's his head. Okay, we're going to pop that. So I might have this one a bit more to the left. The last one's a bit right. Okay, so there's his head. All right, and then I want to cut his body. So basically, I want kind of a triangle shape, a long thin triangle. You could, you know, round him out a little bit more, so he's a little bit more, but I quite like the skinny cats. So I'm going to go over to here, and I just really want to cut myself out of, actually, look, we can use this bit up here, cut myself a sort of triangular shape. And again, if I cut it, if I do that, I'll just cut from this widest piece here, up, slightly narrower. So it's not exactly triangular because he's flat at the top. But now is he too? So I think he's a bit too fat, that one. I might trim that down a little bit. So all I'm going to do is grab a ruler. I want his neck to be a bit skinnier. I'm going to make it slightly asymmetrical, and I'm going to chop off a bit there, like that. That's there. Because you want him to be a little bit, you want him to be a little bit quirky. I'm just going to trim that one as well, just because I cut that a little bit wonky. Just trim off that tiny little bit there. Okay, so you want a sort of a slightly, it's not a triangle, Carolyn, what's it called when it's got, what's that shape with the top on the, cut off, I don't know what that shape's called. A cut off triangle is what you want for his body, like that. And then you're going to stick his head on there. And again, you can then start kind of giving him some personality. Is he looking up? Is he looking right at you? How do you want him to, actually I might go that way, that's quite cute. All right, play around with it. A trapezium, thank you, Carolyn. And then he needs a tail. Okay, so just get rid of this bit here, like that. And again, we're going to just cut. Again, if you're worried about it, draw it first, but I'm just going to cut sort of an S shape out of here. Okay, so I'm going to go round like that. But don't overthink this. These are better when you kind of just let them happen. Okay, round at the top, and then what's that? About a thumb's width for his tail. Cut along here, just follow that shape with a sort of a parallelish line, like that. There we go. Put all those bits aside for later. And then we have his tail coming out at sort of a jaunty angle like that. All right, so you're just going to start sort of building up. Cats look so cute. Ah, thanks, lovely. Yeah, these are really sort of improv, very loose cat shapes. Okay, now we need to give him some eyes. So I've got, again, a little bit of scrap of white. As always, if you're worried about it, cut them, I'm going to cut two at once. Okay, so you want them about the size of a penny, maybe a bit smaller. I'm just going to freehand a couple of circles. There we go. So he's going to have some eyes there in the centre. I want to make it look like he's looking up like that, and then he needs some pupils. So this is a jelly roll strip, and I didn't have any plain black anywhere, but there's enough navy in the middle here that I can cut some circles out of that. So again, you know, think about parts of your pattern that you've got in fabrics, you know, that you can sort of cut out some little pupil shapes. So there we go, just cut a little circle out of there. Ooh, if you've got a hole punch, you can use a hole punch for this, because it's a little circle. It's not quite a circle, but it'll do. There we go. There you go. We'll have him looking. He looks a little boz-eyed, doesn't he, at the minute? So let's have him looking up to the sky like that, and then we'll cut another little circle out of. Look, I can get it out of that bit there. But it's all about utilising these teeny tiny little silly little bits that we've got hanging around. There we go. Cut another little circle. Sorry, I will try to keep this under the camera for you. Ooh. And there we go. So that one's a bit bigger, so I'm just going to trim him down a weeny bit. And a little bit over enthusiastic that one side on that one. There we go. Okay, so he's got some eyes, and again you can then play around with the placement. Okay, eyes can make or break a cat. Indeed, indeed. You know, like I said, you know, if you can change him around, make him look all different. You know, what's he looking at? Is he giving a bit of side eye over here? You know, play around with him. You know, this is the fun of this sort of thing. It's supposed to be a little bit crazy and quirky, and nothing's too precise, and sometimes I think we need that. Okay, then I want a nose for him, so I'm gonna go with what colour do I want? A red nose for him, little heart, but that's the same colour as the background. So what else have I got here in my scrap bucket? What about orange? Orange might be cute actually. And I'm going to cut a little tiny heart out for his nose. So with hearts, fold it in half again, and then you're gonna, you could be a black nose, cut out a little heart. It's much easier to get a symmetrical heart if you do it in half. There we go. So that's going to be his nose just there. I'm not sure I like the orange. I don't know if it stands out enough. Does it need to be darker? What do we think, guys? Does it need to be more of a black or a navy, maybe? I haven't stuck anything down yet, so we can decide. Then, anything you want in the background. So on this one, I just put a little, you know, because I had that floral fabric, I just cut a flower out and put a little heart. But you could put anything up here, couldn't you? So, I might just put another little heart up here, actually. I quite like that. So let's use this one, little piece of this, and again, fold in half to make a heart, like that. And I was thinking actually while I was doing the one, you know, the other day, just playing around with some ideas, it doesn't have to be a cat. This could be easily a dog as well. You could make him a dog. I think what I would do is, rather than cut my ears, I'd have an oval and then give him floppy ears, like two ovals, like a spaniel. There we go. I'm going to have a big heart on this one. I'm not going to put a daisy on this one, but you get the idea. You can play around with it. The other thing you want to do is give him some expression. So I'm going to just give myself some guidelines to give him some eyebrows, like that. So he looks like he's looking up, and I'm kind of going to want my whiskers in here. Okay, so I'm just giving myself, and with a Fixon pen or, you know, washable marker or something, some idea of how I want it to kind of end up. Now, are his eyes right? Yeah, I think so. What do we think about butterfly from two hearts? Oh, yes, you could do that, couldn't you? You could do two hearts and then free motion into a butterfly. That would be really cute. Yes. Yeah, I like that idea, hun. Hi, Janice. How are you, lovely? What do we think about the orange nose? Should I keep the orange nose? I'm going to free motion into it, which will give it a bit of definition, but I'm not sure about it. I'm going to leave it right to the very end. Right, what have I done with? So you can either use now, you could Bond a web all this down if you wanted to. Again, it's improv-y, I'm not going to bother. I've got the Roxanne glue based it here. This is on the website, or a fabric glue pen, either or. We're just going to stick this down so it doesn't move too much while we're what's the word? Stitching. I couldn't think of the word stitching then. It's tired. Okay, let's try this one as well, because I haven't used this a lot before. I've heard very good reports of it, but you only need a tiny little dab and it works. Now let's put some on his tail. Oh, you do only need a tiny dab of it. God, this tube would last forever. There we go, a little bit like that. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. That's sticking enough that that's holding, and it's not coming through the fabric, which is nice. Like I said, I've not used this much before, so only for binding, not really for anything like this, but I thought I'd give it a go. There we go, just put a little bit on his body there, like that. And then just take his eyes off, de-eye him, put his head on. So we're going to put a few dabs on the back of his head, just to oh, I think I might prefer this to the glue line, the sew line pen. Okay, let's put this back on. I'm going to go with the orange head, orange nose, I think. There we go. Stick that down. Right, nose is going to go there. I've cut it now, so he's having an orange nose, this one. There we go. A little bit on the back. Ooh, come back. His nose. And then let's pop his eyes on. Like that. Sorry, you're just going to have to listen to me wibbling on for a second, just while I get all this prepped, and then we're going to talk about the stitching. How are you all anyway? Is everyone okay? What's everyone up to? Janice, how are you doing with your after your op, lovely? Are you all okay? Oh, get on there. Ah, I had glue on my finger, that didn't help. There we go, and the last bit on that one. Oh, don't get glue on. That might be an issue though. The glue's on the finger, which is a bit annoying. I think I've put his eyes up really high now, a bit more than I should have done. Oh, now he's gone boz-eyed. Hang on, let's get that one in the right place. There we go. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to give it a quick press. Thank you, lovely. Yeah, this is all about basically just using scraps really, and a little bit of applique, which I love. You know, I love applique, and the idea you can make each block a little bit different, a little bit fun. You know, I think this could be an it could be an owl, couldn't he, with that shape? You know, if you made those tufty bits, his ears like the tufty bits, and then you put him on a little fat base with a circle in the centre, you could be an owl as well. So you're just getting ready to leave to go on holiday. Ah, have a lovely, lovely time, Jean. Are you going somewhere nice, hun? I hope it all goes okay for you. Right, so I've just realised I've ironed that and I've got rid of me lines. So I'm just going to put my eyebrows back in, like there, like that. And I just want to make sure that whiskers are going to come in there. It's just a guideline for when I'm stitching. How we stitch this now is entirely up to you. So you can go old school and you could blanket stitch this all down. And you could blanket stitch this on your machine, or you could hand blanket. You could do a satin stitch, which is basically just a zigzag really, really close. You're going to reduce your stitch length and do a satin stitch all the way around. Excuse me. You could just do a zigzag and keep it as a real raw edge applique, or you could free motion into it. Now, I think I'm just going to zigzag round him and then do some free motion on the heart and his facial features and stuff, just to give it, a bit of difference. But go with a zigzag. Zigzag. Sorry, excuse me, my asthma is really bad the last few days. And it makes me cough if I talk for too long. So I'm going to go over to my machine. I've obviously got my wide stitch plate on and a foot that I can zigzag with. Okay, and then I'm going to choose a zigzag. So I'm going to go that one, and I want it to be a weeny bit wider than that. So I'm just, again, practice on a scrap of fabric first, okay? So actually, no, I want them to be a weeny bit wider and a weeny bit closer together. There we go. So practice this if you want, get your settings right. The nice thing about this is I've got a little line on my foot. You should have a line on your foot as well. And that if you keep the edge here on that center line, you'll get a nice even zigzag. What's that, Marion? You're playing Pictionary with your grandkids? Ah, lush. Oh, I love a bit of Pictionary. Right. I'm doing this just in white because that's what I've got on my machine. But you could use a lovely variegated thread. You could do all sorts for this. There we go. All the way down that side. Remember, raw edge applique is not supposed to be like super neat. It's supposed to look a little more free and creative. Okay. What's that, Claire? Nice to school backpack. Oh yes, how cute. Yeah, that would be a really nice idea. So I'm just going to go all the way down this side and zigzag this one. Now I've got quite a wide zigzag on the body because I want it to look slightly sort of fuzzy, the edge, so it's like fur. Does that make sense? But because I'm going to go around this now, which has got curves on it, I'm actually going to reduce my make my zigzag a little bit narrower because that makes it easier to get around the curves. There we go, like that. So I'm going to go around the head as well. And slow it down if you're dealing with, curves and stuff. All I'm doing is concentrating. The needle's going to do what the needle does. It goes backwards and forwards because that's what the machine's telling it to do. What I'm concentrating on is keeping the edge of the fabric on that center point so that it's relatively nice and neat and even. I love a game of Pictionary. Love a bit of Pictionary. We've actually got something called Gut Ahead, which is a rude version of Pictionary, which we played last Christmas, and it's very disturbing when your adult children know what the what all the rude things are. I mean, they're adults, but sometimes you're like, oh. You forget they're not 8 anymore. You're watching whilst you're appliquing Happy Birthday on some bunting for your stall. You like, oh yeah, blanket stitch is lovely, and absolutely blanket stitch. You could blanket stitch this, hun. I'm just going with a zigzag because I quite like that very free look of a zigzag. Oh, that went a bit wonky. And then we're gonna just go down that bit there. There we go. Teresa, you love this. A nice thing to do with my sister. Oh yeah, absolutely, go for it, hun. And like I said, each cat turns out completely different, and then do different animals. I think it's quite easy to do dogs and owls and all sorts. Don't overthink it too much. I think that's the thing with this, is that it's basic shapes and then give them that personality. And then I'm going to do the same round the tail as well. So you're going to have to bear with me a second while I get round the tail. But again, I'm keeping it a small zigzag at this point so that I can get it round the curves a little bit better. If you go too big, it's a lot harder to get it round these little curves. Getting up towards the top. You'll notice I don't know if you can see, but I'm always stopping with the needle on this side so that I know that it's going to jump into the fabric and not do a big leap out and look odd. Oh, I'm really hungry today though. I've just put some eggs on to boil. I want egg mayonnaise sandwiches. What's everyone having for lunch? Anything interesting?
well, I say egg mayonnaise, they're not going to be egg mayonnaise, they're going to be egg salad cream because they're the best. There we go, got a nice long run there, I can speed up a little bit. Okay. And down to the bottom of the tail. Just back stitch a little bit, just lock it off and cut my thread. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my thread to black, and I'm going to put my free motion foot on because I want a free motion into this, and I want a free motion around the details and give him his whiskers and things like that. Okay, so bear with me a second just while I pop my free motion foot on. So that one's going to come off. Oh, hang on, nearly there. That's it. Plug him in. Oh, come on, get in there. Can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And then I need to change the foot to the free motion foot. Oh, come on. That's number 40 something. Where is it? Oh, where is it? There it is there. And make sure I drop my feed dogs as well. And then I'm going to reduce, I'm going to go back to a straight stitch now, and then reduce my stitch length down, not by a lot. I'm going to reduce it down to 1.5, which gives me a little bit more control. You've just cooked paella. Oh, nice. Oh, I love a paella. Oh, going to change my thread to black as well. Let me just change my thread over. Hi Annie, how are you, lovely? Please don't apologise about being late. It's nice to see you. Nice that you've joined us. Okay, so I'm just going to change my thread. Again, you could use, coordinating threads. It doesn't have to it doesn't matter. I happen to like black when I'm like free motion embroidering because it's like I've drawn into it. I like that sketchy look, but that's personal taste. You could absolutely have it so that it coordinates if you want. Okie doke. Right, so I'm going to drop my needle in first of all. So put my thing down, drop my needle in, and then drop my needle back up. Oh, come on, needle back up, and pull up that bottom thread. Now I've still got white in the bottom. I'm not going to bother to change that, not for this. Okay, but I've got my bobbin thread up as well. It just helps a little bit. Okay, now remember when you're free motioning, you can go any way. All right. What's that? Your daughter Evie wants to try this. Trying to encourage her to sew. Oh yeah, this would be great for her to have. She could make her own little pussycat. Okay, and I'm just gonna stitch around his heart. Oh, haven't quite got the speed right. Let's get the speed right. All right. Before I go any further, first I'm gonna just chop those threads off so they're out the way. Now remember, you don't have to turn, you're going to push and pull and direct the fabric with whatever way you want to go, okay? That's the joy of the free motion. And I like it, and it doesn't matter if you make any mistakes then, but I like it when it looks a little bit scruffy, free motion embroidery. It's my preferred look. If you don't like it, then just use blanket stitch or zigzag on these bits. Okay, like that. Alright, so I've gone around a couple of times there. Just going to nip my thread. I could use that to write something in there, but I'm also going to do this with, you could use your decorative stitch as well, actually thinking about it. You could use just a straight stitch for his whiskers, or you could use, what's that like little one that's on the machine that's got like, it goes backwards and forwards, so it gives like a stem stitch. Okay, I'm going to go around his nose. I do like to stop and get rid of that thread. Oh, I didn't pull my thread. Oh well, never mind, it won't hurt. Get rid of my thread. It gets tangled otherwise. There we go. Go around his nose a couple of times. Just darken up that edge. Like that. Okay, cut that one, and I'm going to put... Actually, I might show you that stitch with the whiskers. Let me just put his eyebrows and stuff in and go round his eyes, and then we'll have a play with that other stitch. Might as well. And I've got time. There we go. So I'm going to go around that bit there, fill it in a little bit, back just a little bit of a zigzag, darken it up, and then over to this side, Do the same on this one. Go around a couple of times just to attach it, and then zigzag through. But again, use your decoratives. You like using a variegated thread when you're doing free motion. Absolutely, that looks really, really nice. I like that as well. I am going to go round his... Oh, I thought I'd pinged the thread out. I'm going to go round the... just carefully around the outside of his eye, just to hold down that white. I'm slowing it down on this one because I want this to be a little bit more oval so he doesn't look like he's cross-eyed or anything. Yeah, but make yourself your own little cartoon cat, your little improv cat. There we go. Sorry, this is a bit dull for you to watch me just do this free motion, but I just thought some people get scared of doing it, and it doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky, it really doesn't. It's the joy of it. Bye, Jean. Have a lovely, lovely holiday, darling. Oh, something's caught. I didn't catch. There we go. Get rid of that. I hope you have an amazing holiday. We will speak to you soon, Han. Okay, and then last little bit, I'm just going to do his eyebrows, and then we'll actually play with that stem stitch on his whiskers. So, because it's always worth having a look at these stitches, isn't it? Oh, come on. Oh, I need just that thread out the way. There it is. So I want his eyebrow to be about there. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards and draw in his eyebrows. I wouldn't be an eyebrow tech, would I? There we go. And his other eyebrow is actually going to come off his head, but I think that's okay. That's a bit cartoony, isn't it? Like you see in cartoons. Here we go. Right. Should we do? You find it mesmerising to watch? Oh, thanks. I love it, and actually, like I said, I like it. The rougher, the better. Right. Let's put my other foot back on. Put my feed dogs back on. Other foot goes back on, and we'll look at that stem stitch because it's really interesting stitch actually. So if I go and just tell the machine, sorry, 2 seconds, just tell the machine I put my other foot back on. 1D, there we go. And let's go to this, I think that's it there, 6. So this one is, if you're worried about free motion, this is actually a stitch you can use. Let me just grab a piece of white so you can see what this is doing just before we do his whiskers. I think it's supposed to be a stem stitch. So what it does, it goes backwards and forwards lots and times over each little stitch, so you get a really nice thick line. So I don't know if you can see, so it's going backwards and forwards, so it's over each stitch. So instead of just being a do 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 dum, it's giving you a, can you see, a much thicker line, okay, which I think will work nicely for the whiskers. All right, and most machines have got this one. It looks like that on machines. It kind of the symbols look like that, but really like thick dark lines on your machine. Have a little look in your on your manuals and see. So I'm going to give him shorter whiskers than I gave the other one, because he got too close to the fire and got a bit singed. That's why he's got shorter whiskers. There we go. So going to go up towards the nose, and then I'm going to pivot back round and give him his whiskers. So it's basically an elongated V for his whiskers. But again, your cat could have 6, 7, put 3 or 4 in there, whatever you like. I'm just going with a bit of personality. Make each one different. So, it's a nice way to utilise some of those decorative stitches as well. Right, let's go back over to the overhead, because that's him finished. He's really quick to do. I think, like you were saying, was it Marion was saying, doing with her granddaughter, you can make a really cute little,
cushion or something, get rid of all those threads, sew them back through if you want, you know, but you don't need to because they're all nice and down. Give it a final press. I has puckered, can you see here, just a weeny bit, which is what the interfacing stops that if you put interfacing on the back, but it doesn't overly concern me because it's going to be quilted anyway. So what I'm going to do now is just where this bit is a bit bigger, because it was 12.5 to start with. It's a right mess on the back, doesn't matter. It's going to be quilted up anyway into a block. No one's ever going to see that. Just pop my 12.5 back on there and just like that, and just trim off any of that excess there. Okay, and there's Mr. Meow's little friend, little pal. Okay, but you can see, look, they kind of look, you know, look very different depending on, he's got very screwed up, like where I shoved it to the side. You know, you could make each block, you know, their own little personalities. I did use a variegated thread on this one, you know, but that he's got smaller eyes, you know, I put them lower down, I, you know, tilt the heads, all sorts, you know. So that was my first one, and then that's the one we've just done. You could add all sorts. I like the idea of putting a butterfly up there. If you do two hearts, in fact, if you cut them like that and like that, this is a real scrap, so I'm cutting 4 at once, you'll get symmetrical hearts then. So we go like this, create those little fat heart shapes. There we go. And then, look, you've got butterfly wings. I know, I'm sorry, I caught a bit of salvage, but you get the idea. You've got butterfly wings then, which you could then just free motion a body in between, you know, all sorts. But yeah, 2 hearts, you could have butterflies, flowers, a little bee, you know, really nice, easy little bee. Just have a little bit of yellow as an oval, and then free motion your black lines in. Or in fact, actually, I might add a little bee up here. That might be quite cute. That's what he's looking at. He's thinking about eating it. You know, this doesn't have to be such a big triangle here. How would you quilt it? Shadow quilt? Yes, probably. You could shadow quilt, or you could do a meander. So you could just do that lovely sort of vermicelli all the way round. You know, if you most machines, like modern machines, if you've got a computerized machine, has a built-in what's the word? Built-in vermicelli stitch. I'll see if I can find it in a minute. It actually, you know, it looks like that vermicelli. You could do all of that on the background to push him back. It doesn't need anything like that. I think I would probably, what you could do, if you use a serpentine stitch rather than when you're and then shadow quilt, so that it kind of, you know, does that lovely sort of serpentine line all the way round. Because he's a bit quirky and a bit different, you know, rather than a straight line, use a serpentine, you know, maybe a double, you know, do it double. You know, if you want to kind of look like he's giving him a bit of movement, you could just straight stitch all the way round. But, you know, 4 of those with a little bit of sashing in between, 4 different cats. What a cute little, you know, play mat. You know, something with, you know, something, you know, or onto a picnic rug or something that they could use as a change mat. You know, just using up little bits of scrap. Very, very simple to cut your shapes out yourself. You know, it doesn't matter that his head's slightly different to his head. They're little people. Own little people, own little cats. Anyway, that's my bit of nonsense to today. Not exactly quilting, but you know, it's something to have a play with. Nice to do with kids as well. But I think you could easily do other animals. Just get the scissors out and cut and go, right, okay, you know, an owl is, you know, it's like the head shape. Maybe make the ears slightly smaller so they're like the tufts of an owl's head. A triangle for the beak, onto another circle with another circle, you know, a triangle with a circle for his belly, and then you can stitch into it. You know, a big butterfly, you could do big hearts on one, make it a big butterfly with an oval for the body, and then stitch into it, play with them. So that's it for me today, guys. Sorry, bit of a longer one today. But I'm going to go and make
make my egg salad cream sandwiches now. I'm really looking forward to them. We will be back next week. There will be Tuesday and Wednesday next week, because Thursday we'll be driving up to Doncaster. If any of you are in the Doncaster area, please come and say hello to us. It's the one that was the Harrogate show. It's now moved to Doncaster. So please support it, because it's always difficult when there's a venue change. But unfortunately, because venue costs went up so much, the organisers had to find somewhere new. So we're Doncaster this next weekend. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely bank holiday Monday. And we'll be back on Tuesday. Take care, my darlings. Bye.